Hey, Matt, I didn't see Dennis or Eli Apple at practice, and I was just wondering if you had any updates on either of them.
Dennis. Dennis is. I really don't know how long to say for Dennis. I don't know if it's day to day or even longer. Has a sprained ankle, and Eli's still battling the hamstring in the foot. So both of those guys are out right now.
Matt, hi, Miles Simmons. Just wondering what your initial impressions of the 53-man roster are now that you've been able to get through cuts.
They're all guys who've worked hard. There's a real emphasis on special teams players. You can't just give lip service to special teams. You have to put players out there that are going to run and cover and do good things on special teams. We're certainly a young football team with some great veteran leaders, and I'm pleased with the way it went.
Hey, Matt, when we talked to you around the time of the draft, you were pretty high on F.A. Obata. Obviously, you hadn't seen him on the field at that point. Wondering kind of what changed between April and now.
I love F.A. He's a tremendous person and player. Just hard decisions have to be made, unfortunately, and that was one that was particularly hard that we had to make.
Matt, on that note, on a similar note, can you talk about Kenny Robinson, rookie Kenny Robinson,
I'm probably not going to spend a lot of time talking about why we, just respectfully for those guys. I don't want to sit there and say we waived this guy because of this or that. Kenny's, and if I cut you off there, I'm sorry. I hope you can understand. It's hard. This is a hard setup for me to see everything, but Kenny's. I think Kenny's got a really good future ahead of him. He just was in a tough spot, and we had to make that decision again. Those two, really, those three that happened yesterday. I mean, no one wants that for guys to have made it and then go a day and then have to have those conversations with them. But we claimed guys that we thought we needed to claim that would help us, and had to make tough decisions.
Hey, Matt, it's Chris Jenkins. What can you share with us today about your observations for practice as you guys are getting ready for the Raiders in this week one, your first time going into a week one preparation?
Well, today's nice because it's obviously a bonus day. Not having played yesterday, but I thought we had a lot of energy. I thought guys really moved around and were excited to be out there, and we got good work done. So guys came in this morning, were attentive in meetings, excited to get started, and so for me, really pleased. And with the new rules of 16 practice squad players, it doesn't feel much different than it did last week in terms of practice and the amount of guys that are out there.
Is there anything you're looking to see most from the guys this week, Matt, as you get ready for week one that you're eager to see come together?
I think the biggest thing is greatness happens outside the building. When you get to game week, I mean, there's a certain schedule that we have. Everyone pretty much has the same schedule. If we want to be a great team, if guys want to be great on their units, if we want to be great players, great coaches, a lot of that greatness happens on our own time. And so I'm looking forward to seeing guys that are out preparing, the coaches, being experts at what they know. We just got done with practice, and we won't see them again until 8:30 on Wednesday. And what are you going to do in that time to get yourself more mentally or physically ready? And so I want to see guys. I want to see guys really grind this week. I mean, that's who we want to be. We want to be a tough, hardworking team that prepares at a high level, because confidence really comes from preparation. And for us, playing a lot of new guys, a lot of young guys, they can't really act like rookies. They've got to go play like veterans, and that only comes from preparation and from practice. So I like what I saw at practice, but really that great's going to happen on their own time. Great's going to happen outside this building.
Hey, Matt, this is David Newton. Wanted to ask you, I know with you guys getting ready for the Raiders, is information very easily to get on the opposing team? And what have you been able to gather so far about what you can expect from them?
I think all of us without preseason games are in a unique position. Obviously you can look back and see, what they did last year and the remaining players, and then players that came from other places, you can evaluate. But there are certainly some unknowns. I think unknowns, people probably have a lot of unknowns about us, and there's certainly probably a lot of unknowns for them. So, we'll work off the tape. Our pro personnel department has done a great job with the advanced scouting and trying to do the best we can. And so my main message to our team was like, hey, let's make this all about us. We're going to prepare for them, but we can really control us. We can control our effort, our preparation, do the best we can to make sure that we play our best game, and then prepare as well as we can for them. But understanding that in game one, crazy things happen. It could be a completely different defense, a completely different offense. And it's at that time you have to kind of trust in your system, go back, make adjustments on the sideline and go out and play. And so I'm sure that our guys will attack whatever wrinkles are thrown at them. It's a great coaching staff we're going against, a lot of veteran players. So for us, it'll really be about, us doing the best that we can to make sure that we're prepared and we play our best game.
Hey, Matt, it's Josh from the Riot Report. I have kind of a technical question for you. I know that there are 4 guys on the practice squad that you can protect each week. What goes into that decision for you? And is that something that you plan to change on a weekly basis, or is that kind of the same 4 guys, do you think?
I think that would be probably different every week. It could be the same, but obviously you have to look at it week to week. And, you can't really protect them until Tuesday at 4:00. So that really exposes a lot of time. So how important is it? It's probably just important later in the week. So I think once you kind of sit there and say, okay, here's our game plan. Here's who we think we'll need. Here are the guys that could be up for us. As you look at different situations with depth, then I think maybe you make that decision then. But it's not it's not truly protected in that from the end of the game on Sunday till Tuesday. You can make those. Someone could come in and take a guy, or we could go in and take a guy. So. I think we'll take it week by week, look at our depth, look at our issues, look at our game plan, see how we're going to play each week, and try to make the proper decision.
Hey, Matt, speaking to that week 1 preparation, how can you use the advantage that you have, which is that nobody has seen your offense, your defense, and kind of how you're going to run things on a game day?
Yeah, I mean, I've tried to respectfully not answer a lot of questions about who we are schematically, just because that is an advantage that we have. I don't think it's a huge advantage. I think it's a small one. I think once the ball is kicked off, there's only so many ways to play offense and play defense. And I really do believe it's not just coach speak. I believe the game comes down to blocking and tackling and protecting the ball and all those things. But it is an advantage. And so I think for us, as you look at what Joe's done with this offense, taking what he learned in New Orleans and Penn State and taking it to LSU in one format, and then evolving it to our personnel here. So no one's really seen, this offense. No one's really seen unless you're at our practices. So the same thing for Phil. We were a 4-down team, then we were a 3-down team, and then coming back here and looking at the people we have and, kind of going back down to a 4-down look here. But I think we're doing a lot of different things. And so, that plus our special teams, we want to try to keep a lid on it as best we can. But once the game starts, again, the team that plays the best usually wins. And so we'll try to concentrate on us, try to play our best game, but knowing that no preseason games, people don't have a great feel for what we look like.
Matt, with that in mind, this may be not one you don't want to answer, but can you give us any clarity on the backup quarterback?
Yeah, you know what? Joe and Jake will make that decision, and I think really the thing that Joe said to me is I think that's going to kind of like a lot of other positions. I think we're going to just kind of take that week to week and see who practices best each week, and make that decision, because you don't have to make that decision now till really late in the week. So I think we'll let them both practice, and we're excited. They both bring different things to the table. The nice thing is it's really clear that, Teddy's our starter, but, we'll make that decision probably right up until, whenever we have to put in our inactives. So, but I think we're going to take that approach. Like, hey, let them both compete it out each week, see who practices the best, and let that guy go. And then eventually, at some point, someone will have to play, and they'll get some game reps, and it'll really, crystallize itself.
Hey, Matt, Jason Huber with WFNZ. Do you guys plan on, or when do you, if you know yet, when to plan to fill in on the rest of the practice squad? And if not, or do you know, will you have any guys in mind right now? Is that just something that you're working on?
No, we have a couple things in the works, and so I think there'll be a lot more clarity on the roster probably tonight.
Matt, you might not want to answer this one either, but how comfortable do you feel about Ian Thomas being available to you on Sunday?
No, he was out there today. He looked like he could go. So I felt good about him. I mean, I know they originally said that they thought maybe later in the week that they wanted to practice him, but just moving around, he looks good. So I'm expecting Ian to go and be able to play. And if he can, he can. Chris will carry the brunt of the load. We can use an extra offensive lineman. Colin Thompson's had a good camp. Richie's had a good camp. So we have some guys there. But it looks to me like Ian will be ready to go.
Matt, Scott Fowler, what kind of camp has Robbie Anderson had, and what do you expect from him this season?
I think Robbie's had a fantastic camp. I knew him 4 or 5 years ago, and seeing the level of professionalism and maturity that he brings to everything that he does is really, really exciting for me. Takes great care of his body, which allows him to play fast. So I think he's a guy that's gonna have a really good year for us. And I think the receiver position is probably one of our positions of strength. I think he's going to have an explosive factor in what he does. So I expect him to have a great year helping us win. Stats are great. I know guys have goals about stats, but really, we want them to have a purpose in mind of, hey, I want to be the absolute best at what I do. And I think we've all seen Robbie this camp. He's someone that comes in every day with a plan, really deliberate in the way that he practices, really respectful of the process, and really kind of playing at a high level right now.
Hey, Coach, you spoke about greatness taking place outside the building. I was wondering if you could give us an insight of what you think your week of preparation may look like. You think you're going to be living there from sun up to sundown, or is it going to be pretty much a normal week for you as you prepare?
For the coaches? For
yourself, personally.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're so far ahead just because we've done all this work all summer long, and really last week into this week, I gave the coaches Sunday off, and I walk into the Joe's office at 1:00, and he's in there, Phil's in there. I mean, they're so far ahead that I don't think it's one of those deals where we're going to have to do that. That's kind of how I like coaching. I think that's more in the coming weeks as you come in, have to debrief the game from before. But we'll grind hard at it, work hard at it. What I want from our coaching staff is a group that's always seeking to find edges, seeking to find a competitive edge, and so we'll have a good plan for that. But I think a lot of the work's been done. We'll continue to grind for the next couple of days, and then late in the week, we'll trust the players. I truly believe the players win games, so we want to have a great plan for them. But late in the week, we want to put it in their hands and let them go play.
Matt, what are some of your initial impressions of just the Raiders personnel, especially on offense, guys like Derek Carr, Josh Jacobs, and the like?
Well, I mean, they're an extremely talented team. Derek's an outstanding quarterback. They have a big, powerful, physical offensive line, good backs, good run game. I mean, they're gonna try to physically, impose their will upon teams. Waller's a special player. I mean, he's a matchup issue. So, I mean, really, there's a lot of things that they do that can give you trouble. But at the end of the day, if you don't find a way to stop the run, Coach Gruden and Coach Olson, I mean, they'll keep going back to it and try to beat you up. And so, that was not a strength of of ours last year. So we've worked hard at improving our run defense, and to me that requires technique and talent and all those things. But most importantly, man, it requires effort and toughness. And so this is a good opportunity for us to go out there and show how far we've come in terms of defending the run.
Matt, without the preseason games and looking at other teams' rosters as much, how big of a factor was it to have Pat Stewart's kind of inside info on the couple of Eagles?
Yeah, Pat obviously had eyes on those guys. Sharif's a guy that a couple of our staff coached at Penn State. So, so there was some awareness. I mean, I remember recruiting Sharif going all the way back to George Washington High School. Pat Meyer coached Trent Scott at the Chargers. So, I think you looked around the league, I think there was only 17, waiver claims. So that just goes to show you, people are very nervous to claim somebody and, make a move with when they haven't seen them. But I think for us, having some outreach into some history with some of these guys made it easier for us. To me, that's a real credit to Marty, that he listens to the people that are around him, and as he builds a roster, he's trying to seek every edge, and that's who I want us to be. We want to be a team that is never complacent, is always trying to find a way to get better, and we'll bring those three guys in, and excited to see what they bring.
We have time for one or two more questions, guys.
Matt, I was wondering, what's your relationship like with Coach Gruden? I know you guys know each other. What's your previous experiences with him like?
He's a guy that in my previous life I would have considered, sort of a mentor from afar. I got to know him. We hit it off. Even a couple of years ago when I had another NFL opportunity, I was trying to figure out what to do. He's one of the first people I called. I haven't talked to him very much since taking this job, just because I think we've all, it's been a unique set of circumstances. Mike Mayock is another guy that I've known for a long time. My first year as the head coach at Temple, he came in and talked to my team about the draft process. So there's a lot of people there that I respect, but I really respect John Gruden. And, here he is, Super Bowl winning coach, Monday Night Football at the time, and he's got the head coach, at Temple, and he's pouring into and spending time with. And so I'm very grateful to him. And so I think it'll be an honor to take the field with someone that's done everything that he's done. And I'm excited to get on the field.